Hey everybody, Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser, and in last week's episode we showed you our little trip to Florida where we picked up some yacht steps for the boat, and we got to meet Jay and Nikki on Naughty Ohana. Really cool people. If you haven't checked out that video, please do watch it. This week we're going to show you how we drilled some exploratory holes in the roof of the boat so we could determine just how much of the core needed to be replaced. And my dad was in town and we took a nice little trip down into New Orleans, stayed at a cool place called Pontchartrain Landing along the ICW, and we ended up going out like Huck Fin on the Mississippi River on an old steam-powered paddle boat called the Natchez. From there we took a carriage ride through New Orleans for some ghost tours. Really good time. I hope my dad had a blast. Please do give this video a like and a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Click on the subscribe button and that little bell so we'll notify you as we have new content. Thanks everybody.
All right, I'm going to consider this my public service announcement. If you want to live on a boat, get rid of your stuff. I'll tell you, we spend a lot of money. I just did the math on this, probably somewhere around $600 a month in storage. Well, we're in Kemah, Texas. We kind of made a last-minute trip to do this. Drove down last night, spent some time with O'Day on his boat. T, so sorry you were in here. We would have loved to have seen you too. But we came over to the storage shed essentially to unload this thing. I mean, we know we had a dinghy trailer here we wanted. We know we had some of our son's G.I. Joes that he wanted. Other than that, pretty much nothing we need. Yeah, so this is like a 10 by 40, and we want the dinghy trailer. I need that for our dinghy. But the reality is all this other stuff, I think we can probably get rid of. I mean, the lathe, I'll see if somebody wants that. But everything else, it's trash. Well, at least it's trash because we haven't used it in 3 years. I gotta tell you, it feels good to throw a few things away. This storage unit just had way too much stuff in it. We haven't used it in a long time. Sitting here paying $200 a month for the last 3 years in Kemah for something that we're just not using. So this should be a good way to save a few bucks. At least that's what we're hoping for. This is the Kemah Boardwalk Marina. We were here for a few years. It's a nice marina. Real nice marina. Thanks for the hospitality, T and O'Day. Appreciate you letting us stay.
Hey guys, we're getting ready to leave Kemah and head back home. But you can't leave Kemah without having a skipper's breakfast. So this morning, Gil, myself, and O'Day are all going to go over and have breakfast at Skipper's. Best little breakfast place in town. See ya.
Hey everybody. Okay, so I gotta tell you, one of the things we've been struggling with is actually clearing out our storage units. We have more stuff than we should have for people that live on a boat. I'll give you an example. Right behind me, we have 2 units over here. The first one we got when we first bought the boat. The previous owner gave us a whole lot of supplies, and we thought, that makes perfect sense. Let's put it in there. And then we had a few things that we needed to store in there. And over time, we started adding to it. And, you know, as we would clean off one boat, if we would get some items, whatever it was, we just put the stuff there. And it got bad enough where, you know, a lot of people with a home, you do this in your home. You take stuff out of your car, you put it in the garage, and you figure out what to do with it later. So we've been guilty of that, and we clean out the car and put stuff in there, and then you're gonna come back and go through it. Well, when Deb's parents passed away, we had a very similar issue. They had a storage unit over here, and we got rid of most of their items, but there were still some items that were sentimental. Deb wanted to go through them, whatever it happened to be, and that's what is in this storage unit. We still have that. Well, it's Monday, and we're back from Kemah. We had a great visit with O'Day. It was time to come check it out and see what's been done on the boat. Today, the goal is to go down below and drill those holes up through the roof of the coach house to see how bad that rod is in certain places, and ultimately determine how big a piece we're going to need to replace rather than replacing it all. So that's on the agenda. We'll kind of show you that. When I got down here today, I noticed that there's been some work done. One, it rained like a son of a gun because some parts of my tent were filled with water, so I needed to sort of straighten that up and pour some water off of it. But the other part is, in the anchor well, they've gone ahead and put the non-skid paint down. The reason why is wanted to sort of verify the color and contrast to the gunnels is what we're looking for, and also the level of grittiness of it. So to give us an opportunity to walk barefoot on it rather than, you know, have a little color swab that we're trying to determine all that with. And the good news is down in the anchor locker, so easy place to sort of validate and test it out. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute, but I'm definitely going to get Deb's opinion on this too, because before we do this, you know, expansive deck where it's large and flat, really want to see how that's going to feel and look. So let me show you what we got up there.
All right, let's take a look here. We'll kind of walk right up front and check it out. I might need to adjust my exposure as we get up here a little bit. All right, so let's see if you can see this. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the non-skid pattern. Definitely there, a little bit of water droplets on it, as you can see. They still have the paint, the tape there, so you can see the edge, but I think it looks pretty good. And then, you know, in this spot where the anchor line goes down, and then ultimately we have the where the drain is taped up right there. So with the rain, you can see it's a little dirty just because it sat there, but I think it looks pretty good. We'll talk to Deb and see if she likes the texture on our feet. It's a good non-skid though. It's surprisingly grippy, almost like not quite like sandpaper, but similar.
All right, so we've come down below. We watched out for the maze here with the open floors. But now it's time to actually go up into the roof here and actually start to drill those holes I mentioned a few minutes ago. So I'm gonna set up a camera, I'm gonna drill a few of these, and I'll try and get a couple close-ups and show you what we've run across. But ultimately the goal there is, it will tell us how big a section of this roof we need to replace. So I'll figure out where it goes, and then, see if you can see this. As you look up here, you can kind of see these beams. Let me come back here where I'm likely gonna be doing my work. You can see right up here these beams. So I'm going to drill right, for example, on the side of this beam, and if I find there's rot here but not there, I will go just a little further to the edge of the beam itself, and that'll give me the ability to have a surface to essentially mate the new pieces of wood right on, right? So just like you would think of drywall going on studs in a home, I'll do the same thing with the plywood on top, and then I'll use epoxy, glue it together, glue it all as one piece, and then ultimately the yard will help, and they'll actually fiberglass the entire top for the section that I have to replace. So now it's just exploratory. And this is a suggestion from Michael. Come down below and drill up instead of drilling down through. If I run into areas up top where the core is fine, I will then have fiberglass patches to do all over the place. If I do it from down below, it's a little easier. I can just fill it with a thickened epoxy, sand it smooth, and I intend to paint this ceiling anyway. It's not a smooth fiberglass finish like the rooftop is. It'll be a much easier repair and less visible to everybody else. So here we go. And there's the roof. If it didn't show up before, I'm going to drill up here into the roof and see where everything lies. I just went ahead and drilled those holes, and in the beginning I said I was going to use the Forstner bit for all of them. It gave me a nice wide opening so I can get my finger in it and really inspect it. What I found was that it was a little bit challenging to do, so instead I drilled just holes with like a probably a 1/4 inch or a little slightly larger bit, and when I found a spot where I needed to do a little more inspection, then I would widen it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and show you inside some of the holes that I widened out so you can get a sense of what I uncovered. The good news is it wasn't quite as bad as I was thinking. It's really about the 2 feet along the outer edge of this wall, and then a couple of other places behind the large opening port in the middle of the galley. There's a spot, and along the side of the companionway. So I probably have a strip almost the entire width from the companionway to the other side, where you saw me take the rot in the last couple of videos. But then it comes up the side a little bit. So let me flip this around and see if I can't show you this, if it'll come out. So we're right over here along the edge of the roof, and obviously this is a spot where you saw me cut it from up above. If you look here, you can see I cut some large holes there to check it out. I also have these small holes right here. That was just to give me essentially a line up top. I'm going to know exactly where that corner is. I'll go 1 inch wider than those holes, and then it'll tell me where the spot is. It's sort of the same thing. If you look right here, I have a couple more of those and a few more. And then right here, I've gone all the way along this beam drilling holes. That gives me the line of where I want to cut this. I'll trim that fiberglass off up top, and then I'll move it over so that it is right here even with the middle of this beam. That way I can seat the plywood right on that section. Let me see if I can show you what's opening here. So you might be able to see that core looks pretty good right there. You can see the different layers. It feels solid. I put my finger all the way through there. It looks pretty good. All right, you can kind of see the opening hatch. Forgive all the dirt and dust in the screen. But this small section right there to the left of the hatch, that section feels really soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that whole section out right there. And again, it's going to go right to the forward side of the actual traveler car. That's what those bolts are there on the backing plate. If I need to remove that to check it out, I certainly will. All right, the other spot that I have some opportunity here is going to be right here along the sides of
the actual companionway opening. So I've got a section right here, in the next section, and then obviously right back here where the hole is right above that light is where it was bad. So I'll take, you can kind of see my drill holes here. So I'll go right about there and we'll cut that section out as well. The good news is on this side right here of the companionway opening, it really felt pretty good. So all in all, this wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was a bit pleasantly surprised, as strange as that sounds, to have just drilled, 15 or 18 holes in the roof of my boat. But I think it's going to be okay here. It's not replacing as much as I thought. My material cost may not even be as high as I was initially thinking at the yard. Don't know, but yeah, it's good stuff. So I am pleased. Let's plan my next steps here. We'll come on off the boat. Let's see if we can have a quick chat with Michael and check it on out. Whew, the sun's bright. Out we go. Where my mast has been has a boat in it, so my old mast is sitting right over here, and my new one is stored over here nice and neat, wrapped up good to keep any overspray or dirt off of it from the work they're doing. All good stuff. Come on outside. And let's see. Oh, all in all, it's a good visit to the yard. I'm now going to go check out the place where we're going to stay while my dad's here. It's nice and close to the yard. Not that I want to put him to work, but I think I'm gonna. So it's gonna be cool. My dad's coming to stay with us for about a week. I haven't seen him in almost a year, so it's gonna be fun times, fun times. He's been with my sister for a week, and after spending a week with us, he's gonna go see his brother in Florida for a week. So cool stuff. We got ourselves set up at Pontchartrain Landing, which isn't too bad. It's a nice little campsite. Back up and show you this. One, hot tub, nice big river cruise boat right there. It's got its own little gazebo with outdoor kitchen and whatnot. Say hi, Whit. There's Whitney. And yeah, got a fire going. But this is nice. This is right on the waterway that goes from the Algiers Canal up to Lake Ponchartrain. Let's see if I can get this here. Right past that bridge is Lake Ponchartrain on the south side. But this is nice. They actually have these little waterfront cabins you can rent, but we just decided to get the RV spot. To give you an idea of this, it's kind of cool. I'll show you. They're doing some work on these big paddle wheelers over here. And that thing's big enough that it almost looks like something you could do like a cruise ship on the Mississippi or something. Looks like they're working on this one. Not quite as big, but still a pretty good size. And then as we go down this way, this here is the canal. On the other side of these are the Algiers and the Industrial Canal. This way you go to the Industrial Lock, takes you into the Mississippi River. I will say, it's a pretty nice campsite when you have, well, got our nice fire going, but we also have a hot tub. Say hi, baby.
Hi, baby. Got my cocktail.
Nice little place with transient slips. These little bungalows you can rent. And upstairs at the restaurant and bar, kind of looking out at it. It's nice. Pretty nice little campground. About to have dinner, and I think I need to go join them because everybody else is eating.
When the saints go marching in.
So the boilers on the steamboat are actually called Thelma and Louise. It's definitely cool seeing this set of steam pistons. You can kind of see it moving back and forth. The first piston moves slow, the second one moves faster, and that giant white arm actually goes out the back and attaches to the sides of the paddle wheel. It's pretty cool to see.
Where they would open the door there of the tomb and find someone like it curled in a ball right next to the front of the door. So anyway, crazy. Lost Arms Hotel, you see there's a plaque here. There's actually a real problem with that. We're only a couple blocks up from the river, and the bats would love to feast on Bub. Couldn't even stay 5 years and left. Nicolas Cage owned it for 2 years, and the IRS took it from him because he didn't pay his tax.
Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed this week's video, and if you did, do us a favor, give it a thumbs up and a like. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that little bell so you get notified of any new content we put up there. Also, check out these 2 videos we selected just for you. We hope you'll enjoy them. Thanks everybody.